blessed good morning and welcome to our devotions for today, Tuesday. We continue to take this time in the morning early to honor God's presence, honor God's love, and to hold in our hearts the importance of knowing who God is and how God has brought us once again to yet another day, giving us an opportunity to draw closer, to remember who we are, to remember whose we are. I trust that as we come together these mornings, that we will all together really take some time to really be with God, to really sit in the silence and to allow the messages to come deep within our hearts. We have become so much in our heads in these latter decades, and oftentimes we have ignored our hearts. But it is the heart where we find that wonderful communication with the divine. So I want to encourage you this morning as we come together to take that journey from your head to your heart, to allow yourself to go into that place of stillness and to feel the divine presence with you at this time. Let us then take a few moments and let us go into that place of stillness. As we come within, we feel that inner stillness. We feel that inner presence. And we breathe into that stillness, into that presence. And we allow that presence to open us up so that we feel that sense of being more than this physical limitation. We feel ourselves being at one with all that is. And we notice that as we experience this, it helps us to understand each other better. It helps us to be more willing to receive and accept the other. moving away from our limited sense of self, and we simply experience without the need to label or to define or to put in boxes, but just to simply experience, to feel. And in that feeling to know, a knowing that is not about our cognitive knowledge, but a knowing that is just that. At the start of this day, we acknowledged a new beginning. And whatever our challenges are, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, let us breathe into those challenges. Let us send divine light and love to those challenges. And with that divine light and love beaming forth on those challenges, let us look at them again as through a new perspective, a new vision. And let us see them for what they truly are. For nothing is greater than the soul. No thing that we experience is greater than who we are. Each thing is here for us, to assist us. And so let's look through the eyes of divine light and love at the world that we know, the world that seems at times to be greater than we are able to manage. And let us remember that it is our world. It is for us. It is at our service. We are not victims, but we are co-creators with the divine. So we breathe into this awareness and we allow ourselves to rest in this space. Jesus said, I will not leave you orphaned. I am coming to you. In a little while, the world will no longer see me, but you will see me. Because I live, you also will live. On that day you will know that I am in my Father, and you in me, and I in you. They who have my commandments and keep them are those who love me, and those who love me will be loved by my Father, and I will love them and reveal myself to them. Judas, not Iscariot, said to him, Lord, how is it that you will reveal yourself to us and not to the world? Jesus answered him, Those who love me will keep my word, and my Father will love them. And we will come to them and make our home with them. Whoever does not love me does not keep my words. And the word that you hear is not mine, but is from the Father who sent me. Well, here we are again as we continue to journey one by one, day by day, into this wonderful thing we call life, and how beautiful it is, how important it is for us to really come to grips with all that is taking place in our lives, all that we are being exposed to and invited to be a part of. The reading for this morning is a very wonderful sharing by Jesus, and it revolves around the idea of presence. If we love God, if we keep God's command, God will come to us. And because of the strongly anthropomorphic idea, meaning the whole idea of speaking of entities as though they were actually physical beings, because of that idea, sometimes we don't get the depth of the meaning of what Jesus is conveying. When we align ourselves with God, when we align ourselves with that word, when we vibrate with that word, when we are in adherence to that word, when we are connected to that word, when we are in the flow of that word, there's only that. That is all there is. That is the divine experience and presence. This idea of coming to can be misleading if we take it literally. It's like when we are going through something, and somewhere in that experience we come to a new understanding of all that's going on. all of a sudden we kind of feel a sense of at easeness. We have this sense that, yeah, this is good. This is okay. And it is that experience that one could say something has come to you. But it isn't that something has come to you. It is that you have realigned yourself. You have chosen to perceive something from a different place. And so you are in the flow, as it were. And once we get into the flow, then there's only one. So we would, according to Jesus, in that space, we would see the Father. And when we see the Father, we will see Him. And we will know that He is in the Father and the Father is in Him. And He says that when persons don't hold on to His commands, when persons don't align themselves with His energy, with His idea, with Him, His sense of purpose, His sense of understanding life, when we don't align ourselves to that flow, we can't see in His words. We can't see Him. And this is because Judas, not Iscariot, wants to know, how is it that we will see you and not the world? How is it that you will reveal yourself to us, but you won't reveal yourself to the world? The revelation is constant. And it is not partial. So it is not about God revealing God's self to some and not to others. But once again, it is that analogy of the radio. The broadcast station is broadcasting. But the radio can only receive if the radio is tuned, aligned in the flow. So if the world is not in alignment with this sense of expansion, of openness, of allowing, of acknowledging the divine, then the world will not perceive, the world will not see. So one of the ways in which we can check ourselves is to discern to what degree are we seeing? To what degree is my life in flow? And we know when our lives are in flow, we can feel it. Because we know when our lives aren't in flow, we can feel a heaviness, a weightiness. We can feel anxiety. We can feel a sense of uncertainty, discomfort. All these are little gifts that creation has bestowed upon us to assist us to be able to check ourselves, to be able to see where we are. Are we in flow? Are we perceiving the divine? Or are we in a sense of separation? Jesus invites us to be in the flow, to be in that space where we see Him. And seeing Him here is not for us to go away and to conjure up what He looks like. To see here is a different type of seeing. It's a seeing that involves one's whole being. When we recognize something with our eyes, when we recognize a loved one, we feel something. We feel a particular way. So the idea here is that when we are in that connectedness with Jesus, we will feel a particular way. And that feeling a particular way is like having seen Him, having seen the Father. Because what's happening here is the result of that seeing. It's not just the seeing. Whenever we see something, there's a response to that seeing. And so the important thing here isn't the seeing, it's the experiencing. And so therefore, a person who is blind may not be able to see with their eyes, but in the presence of a loved one, knowing that the loved one is there, they have the same sense, the same feeling, the same sense of at easeness, of flow, because they have, in a sense, seen the loved one. So let's not get too tied up with words like see, because it's not there that it really matters. It is in what happens because of the seeing, or at the end of the seeing, or as a result of the seeing. Jesus wants us to be in that flow. I want to encourage you this day as you go through your life to be in that flow, to give yourself the opportunity to journey in that flow, allowing all that arises in your life to do so without that sense of having a need to fight against or in some way go against, but to see if somehow you can find the flow. You can see Jesus, and in seeing Jesus, you will see the Father, because He and the Father are one. Have a blessed, spirit-filled, light-filled, flowing day.